I don't know if you've noticed that sometimes there's literally a misunderstanding between you and your child. So I will ask something on one of my kids and I'll get an answer back, but that answer is not the same or doesn't fit my expectation. And as I've been on this journey, I realize, you know what, we're using the same words, but the same words have different meanings. So what I mean when I use a particular word and what my child means creates two very different stories in our mind. So if I were to look inside the theater of your mind, if you use a particular word, and I'd compare the movie, the scene that's playing on that theater, and I compare it to mine, sometimes it can be quite different. What comes to my mind as I say this is dinner. Let's do takeouts. Let's do takeaways. What would you like? And in one simple question, because I've got 4 kids, I can get 4 different requests, 4 different preferences, like 4 different shops to the same question, takeout or takeaway. So let's do dinner. And that's because when we're using a particular word, we might use a word that groups a set of ideas. And those sets of ideas are in themselves made up of sets of thoughts. So collections of thoughts and then collections of ideas, and we're relying on one word. And when that happens, but we don't take the time to slow the whole system down and get specificity or clarity, then we can mistake meaning or understanding, and we can miss each other and misunderstand one another. Then when my child is using one word with his set of meanings, but I haven't taken the time to slow down and just check to calibrate that same word with my sets of meanings has the same meaning, then I can actually misunderstand my child. And when they respond negatively or unresourcefully, or perhaps they respond with my good intentions, so let's do takeaway, and I'll go and buy some takeaway, and when I bring the takeaway home and I put the meal in front of the child and the child responds in a way that I calibrate, that I measure as dissatisfied or unhappy, and I can then add a layer of, geez, I've taken the time, I've taken the efforts, I've put the money down, I've bought you this meal, but you're ungrateful, you're unhappy, you're ungrateful. And then that can make me feel frustration or disappointment or even a sense of anger. And very quickly, this scenario, so something as simple as takeaway, can down escalate, what's the right word? So de-escalate into something unresourceful or uncomfortable for both parties. Uncomfortable for me in a sense that I'm feeling the frustration, and I don't want to feel frustrated towards my child. I don't want to feel the sense of a layer of anger in my frustration. And I can imagine my hallucination is that my child doesn't want to create anger in me or be a source of frustration. And in that same moment, they might be experiencing disappointment or regret, and they feel guilty. And now we've got 2 completely different experiences going on in the same scenario, in the same time, space, reality of that room, all because of misunderstanding, all because of using different sets of meaning, collections of thoughts and ideas around the same word. But what if you can slow it down? And when I say slow it down, I mean slow down the system. So as you communicate, as you connect with your child with words, check in to the actual meaning that they're expressing, that they have in their mind. So when I say dinner and I say takeaway, and I say let's do some takeaway, let's get some takeout, get some takeaway. Specifically, what takeaway do each of my children prefer? I mean, I know that now. I've learned the hard way. The hard way. That's also not poor. I've learned over the running of time that each of my children have something that they prefer, a completely different style, a genre, a dish that you, if you can put it that way. And even in that, so let's do chicken, takeaway chicken. Even in that, there's 4 different preferences of what a takeaway, what a delicious takeaway, chicken takeaway will look like. And it just takes a moment just to slow it down. Okay, you want some chicken? Cool. What chicken? From which shop? And which particular meal option? And what you're doing there is you're inviting the child to use their words so that you can get specificity. And with specificity, we create clarity. And with clarity, it's kind of like we're connecting those two sets of ideas. And as they connect, we create understanding. And when we feel understood, and when I feel I understand my child, and when I can imagine, when I feel understood. So when my child feels understood by me, I also feel safe. And when I feel safe, the container of my relationship with my child, that becomes a beautiful one. That becomes a resourceful one. And when we have this ability with specificity to quickly get clarity about what we're saying and meaning, so that my version of reality and my child's version of reality can become closer and closer, quicker and quicker, then we have better functioning relationships. If I get that right with takeaway and chicken, I wonder if I can get it right with something else like homework. Do you have homework? Yes. What homework? Which subject? What in that subject? What specifically must get done? By when must it get done? And then the way that you do that can also be helpful or unhelpful. So my intention is never to like control down with my kid. And I can change that. I can just change it with the way that I use my words. So instead of what homework have you got? It's like, hey, do you have homework? Oh, cool. So what homework is that? And which subject? And what do you need from me? How can I support you in doing that specific homework? Is it 1, 2, 3 exercises? Do you have what you need? Do you have your book? Just a couple of questions offered with gentleness, offered with the language. I hope you can see the language is open-ended and kind and gentle, can create a different space, a different experience in the container of relating between you and your child. So I wonder what's landed for you. Where have you been misunderstanding your kids? I know I used to a lot. And as you slow things down and ask for specificity or just get specific with words, what words and what is the meaning that the child has with those words, the child, your child, I trust that you'll start to see that the connection between you and your kid, as with mine, the connection, the sense of connect with my kids is improving daily, weekly, monthly. As I take time, give myself permission to slow things down, ask more specific questions, but to do so gently, with kindness, with respect and honor, without control, without judgment, without frustration. And as I say that, I'm reminded in some of the safety work that I did, sometimes when we slow things down, we speed things up. Because as I slow down and I get more specific and I enjoy more clarity and we have more understanding more often, we have less misunderstandings and we have less collisions and less of the stuff that we don't want. Cool. I wonder what's landed for you. Shoot me a DM. Let me know. What did you get out of this message? And where in your world are you going to try and use this, slow things down and get specific so you can get clarity? Where are you going to use that in your world? My name's Robin, and let's chat again soon.